But I want to talk particularly about Buffett for a minute, because Buffett, in my view, is one of my favorite people. I like the way he rolls. I like the way he thinks. I like how he's played the long game. I like his conservative view on things. And his big play recently was buying into Barrick Gold. Now, what's really interesting, first and foremost, I want you to acknowledge, and I've got both hands up here, Warren Buffett is not me. He is not you. Warren Buffett is the world's best investor, or at least one of them, right? His business is investing, right? That's his business. And when he got exposure to gold, because there are all kinds of ways to get exposure to gold, he could have gone and bought physical gold, but he went and bought a gold company stock. Why did he do that? Because this gold company, Barrick, is pulling gold out of the ground at $950 all-in cost, which means the total cost of getting that gold out of the ground is $950, and they are selling it currently, I think the price is about $1,900. So he went and bought a company that's buying gold at half price. Can you see? And he's got liquidity, right? He's got liquidity there. He can trade that. He can trade it up and down. He can put all kinds of options and instruments over that stock, which is interesting, right? If he wanted to. So Warren is a business investor. That is what he's doing. And so what I want to do, guys, and bring this all together for you here, is that if you are sitting there and you're thinking, how do I move the needle in my life? And that is what I think has brought you here. You want to move the needle in your life. You don't really give a shit how you do it. You don't, as long as it's not illegal, amoral, and you don't feel bad about it, and you hate doing it, all the basic stuff that we don't need to cover, you're looking for a change, right? Here's the formula before I get to the vehicles, right? The formula is this: start a business, because the wealth that you will create in business, you get to manufacture equity, right? Aaron, just throw something up right now. It's got a student who posted this last week into our student academy, right? Now, these guys started 24 months ago with us. This was posted on the 27th of September? There it is, 27th of September. Feeling very positive about Amazon. This was a milestone that I didn't believe was possible a couple of years ago when I started this business, and the RE, that's Reliable Education course. Consistency in working in the business. But look at the number to the right. That's US dollars. This is an Australian student 2 or 3 days ago, 100,000 US dollars for the month, $4,376 for the day from 121 unit sales, all right? Just click the next slide for me. And this is a couple out of Sydney who are good friends of mine. This too, another result just recently. They're actually up way above this right now. 100,470 US dollars from just 7 products on Amazon. All right, close that down for me. My point, why am I showing you this? Because here's the trick. These guys have manufactured equity. They haven't gone into the market where they don't have an advantage unless they've got truly the time. And some of you have. I've got friends that really do know their shit when it comes to the market. Instead, what these guys have done is they've invested the time to upskill themselves in the area of business, because the return on capital in business is so ridiculously higher than what it is in anything else that there's nothing that can compare. And life is so challenging today. By the time you get a job, and by the time you go to work, and by the time you get home, by the time you've gone to the fuel station, you've filled up, you've paid half of that bill, I don't know what half or 20%, 20 or 30, I don't know the number, it's 20 to 30 or 40% of what goes out of that fuel pump, and then you swipe your card at the credit card and get your Kit Kat and your frickin' Coke, and you sit back in your car. 30 or 40% of what you just paid at 7-Eleven is tax. It's fuel tax. When you bought that new car, if it's an Audi or a BMW, 30% or 40% of some stupid number is luxury car tax. When you get fined or you get a speeding ticket, that's just another word for tax. That's on top of the tax you already paid before you got your net income. So by the time every fucker has taken money off you, and then you've got a few kids that you're paying to put through school and everything else, you've got this little bit left over, and you're going to go into the market and hope that it goes well. That's why so many people love property in this country, is because the risk is not as high, in my view, as what it is for most people who don't understand stock markets, unless you just buy the market and wait. So it's tough, right? To really move the needle, to really make that change where you've got that discretionary $4,000, $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month, or crazy money like these guys. Let's say they're operating at 20 or 30% margin. You're talking 20 to 30 grand US a month profit, right? Which is 10 grand a week sort of territory. Crazy. That ain't going to happen any other way unless you start a business, right? And business is where, if you look at the rich list, almost everyone on it has a business. And here's how they made their money. They started a business where it's risky and they made profits, and then they are not limited by their hours because they have a business. They sell a product or a service using other people's skills at scale, and they move that money from that high-risk environment of business and they put it into the low-risk environment of buying an index fund of the stock market or something like that, low-risk sort of exposure to the markets, or they go and buy buildings, whether it be commercial or residential, get some leverage involved perhaps from the banks, and over time they get rich. But if you want to speed that up, you've got to start a business. And Warren Buffett, people go, oh, he's an investor. No, Warren Buffett's business is investing. He is not an investor like you think of investing. It's his business. He has employees who have reports and charts. It is a professional investing organization. So my closing comment on this, let me see where we are. Okay. Before we jump into a little bit of a different narrative here, is that we can talk about the US election. We can talk about gold prices. We can talk about what's going to happen with the stock markets and all this. But if you are sitting there and you are getting taxed to death all day, you're working your ass off, and you've got 20 grand discretionary or 30 grand discretionary, if that's what's left over at the end of the day, that is going to take you forever to get any real movement in your life. And the sooner that you realize that, if you're serious about financial change, the sooner that you realize it and start acting like the emergency that it is, the better that you will be. Now, you've got to have the heart for it. Business is not easy. Any dickhead on the internet that says to you, oh yeah, I've seen these clowns on Facebook waving around stupid products on Amazon going, look at this thing, it makes 30 grand a month, and you can too, just buy my course, it's easy. One guy at the moment is running around saying, I'll build an Amazon business for you, our superstar team. Fuck off. That's all bullshit, right? It is all bullshit. Do not get suckered into that crap. Any business that is a real business is going to take effort. It's going to take you working at night. It's going to take some sacrifice. But if you do it properly, and I'm going to show you how to do it properly in a minute, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I would be doing right now if I was assessing Amazon or anything else. If you do it properly and you focus and you tune out all this bullshit noise about people talking about crypto and gold and conspiracy theories and the US election and how Facebook's evil and how the Clintons are eating children and all that shit, and you actually focus on creating value in a unique way, in a way that makes sense to a market that exists, that people really want to buy things, then you have a chance of moving the needle. If you don't, you're going to end up angry, you're going to end up distracted, you're going to end up depressed, and you're going to end up hating life. Because that is the cycle, that is the world that we live in today. And if you don't believe me, I bet you can look around in your life and you will not have to look far to find somebody that's contaminated, that is toxic, that is depressed and upset. Because they're not focusing on what they can control. And if you want to change things, you've got to focus on what you can control. If you enjoyed that video, make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell that's somewhere on the screen here so that you get instantly notified when we drop new videos. Thanks for watching, subscribe and hit the bell.